In the quiet hours before dawn in early 17th century Istanbul, the imperial city often appeared timeless. Minarets cut into the pale sky, the Bosphorus lay still, and within the marble walls of the palace complex, life followed rhythms invisible to the outside world. This was an empire at the height of its power, confident in its rituals, traditions, and authority. Yet behind the grandeur, behind the ceremonies and carefully recorded victories, existed private lives shaped not by choice, but by duty. Many stories from this world never entered official chronicles. They survived instead as fragments, rumors, and later interpretations passed down through memoirs and whispered recollections. Among these is the story of Fatima Sultan, a daughter of the Ottoman dynasty whose life reveals the hidden cost of imperial politics. Fatima Sultan was born into extraordinary privilege. She was the daughter of Sultan Ahmed I and Kozum Sultan, one of the most influential women in Ottoman history. Her early years unfolded within the gardens and courtyards of Topkapi Palace, surrounded by scholars, artists, musicians, and tutors. Contemporary observers described her as gifted and curious, fluent in multiple languages, trained in calligraphy, poetry, and astronomy. In another world, such talent might have led to intellectual freedom. In the Ottoman court, it marked her as valuable property. Imperial daughters were never raised for personal fulfillment. From birth, their lives were part of statecraft. Each princess represented a potential alliance, a living treaty capable of securing loyalty or preventing rebellion. Unlike concubines, who might rise through favor, princesses had fixed destinies. Their marriages were tools, not choices. The Ottoman palace was divided into worlds. The outer court managed administration and ceremony. Deeper inside lay the imperial household, including the harem, a regulated environment governed by hierarchy, discipline, and silence. Contrary to popular imagination, this space was not simply indulgent luxury. It was an institution designed to maintain order, lineage, and control. By the time Fatima reached adolescence, her future had already been decided. She would be married to a high-ranking official whose loyalty needed reinforcement. The chosen man was Kara Mustafa Pasha, a seasoned military commander significantly older than her. For him, the union promised political security. For her, it marked the end of childhood. Preparation for marriage within the palace was not limited to celebration. It involved isolation, instruction, and strict behavioral conditioning. Young brides were removed from familiar surroundings and placed under constant supervision. Their daily routines became rigid, emphasizing obedience, composure, and restraint. Education shifted away from intellectual pursuits toward ritual behavior, and religious recitation focused on duty and submission. Accounts from later writers describe this period as emotionally severe. Whether exaggerated or accurate, they consistently portray a system designed to erase individuality. Personal expression was discouraged. Silence was praised. Compliance was rewarded with approval, resistance with punishment. The goal was not partnership, but predictability. As the wedding approached, Fatima was transferred to a separate pavilion within the palace grounds. Contact with the outside world ceased. Food, clothing, and daily movements were monitored. Baths and prayers became ceremonial acts, reinforcing the idea that her body no longer belonged to her, but to the dynasty she served. The wedding itself was an enormous public event. Istanbul filled with music, processions, and feasts. To the people, it symbolized prosperity and stability. To the empire, it was proof of continuity. To Fatima, it was something else entirely. Contemporary physicians recorded signs of distress, though the language of the time could not name trauma as we understand it. Today, after the ceremony, Fatima withdrew from public life. Palace records note changes in her behavior. She spoke less. She ate little. She avoided contact. Remedies were attempted according to the medical knowledge of the era. Herbs, music, prayer, seclusion. None restored her former vitality. Her marriage continued in form, producing children and fulfilling ceremonial expectations. In substance, it was distant. Observers later remarked that Kara Mustafa Pasha spent long periods away on campaign. whether out of ambition or avoidance is unknown. What is known is that Fatima never returned to the intellectual life she once loved. Over the years, she appeared at court functions as expected, adorned in jewels and silk, fulfilling her role with quiet efficiency. But private accounts describe a woman withdrawn, fragile, and haunted. Illness became frequent. Her health declined gradually, worsening each year around the anniversary of her marriage. Fatima Sultan died relatively young. The official cause was illness. Later storytellers suggested emotional suffering played a role. Such interpretations cannot be confirmed, but they reflect a broader truth about the lives of imperial women. Their sacrifices were rarely acknowledged. Their pain remained unnamed. Fatima's story is not unique. Ottoman archives contain many gaps where princesses vanish from records after marriage. Some lived quietly, others died young. A few sought divorce, a rare but legally possible act. In every case, their lives remind us that power often demands silence from those closest to it. Empires celebrate conquest, law, and grandeur. They rarely record the private costs paid by individuals shaped into instruments of policy. Fatima Sultan's life offers a glimpse into that hidden world, where loyalty was demanded without consent, and brilliance was extinguished for stability. History is not only written in treaties and battles. It is also written in lives constrained, choices denied, and voices lost. By revisiting these stories with care and responsibility, we can better understand the true weight of power and the human cost beneath imperial glory. If stories like this challenge the myths we inherit about the past, it is because they reveal history not as legend, but as lived experience. Many such voices remain unheard, waiting within archives, memoirs, and fragments of memory. Listening to them does not diminish history. It deepens it,